I want once again to thank Karen Drucker for the music and for giving me a week off from writing the Sunday message. I know you're going to love her music, her stories, and enjoy the message immensely. But before I turn it over to Karen, I wanted to provide your question for the week. What is the one choice you can make today to start your day with love, open to possibilities, knowing that something amazingly awesome is happening to you each day? One more time. What is the one choice you can make today to start each day with love, open to possibilities, knowing that something amazingly awesome is happening to you each day?
Something amazingly awesome is going to happen to me today and to you. Do you believe that? Do you think that's possible? Can you open the possibility that that could happen, that you could have a miracle in your life? So that's what I want to talk to you all about today. The way that song came about is a fun story. I'm a big fan of this wonderful author by the name of Pam Grout. She's written this book called The E-Myth, and she had this book called Thank and Grow Rich. And in this book, she had this exercise where every day you were supposed to look in the mirror and say, something amazingly awesome is going to happen to me today. And she said, put little yellow stickies all around your house reminding you of this. Well, I couldn't remember to do that, but I know what does work for me is to start singing a song. And if I put that to a melody, it gets in my head and I start singing it. So I came up with something amazingly awesome. I started to sing this little song. And then one day I'm singing this and I had this interesting, amazing thought that it really felt to me like it was a full song and that I wanted to write this song. So I decided I was going to do something a little amazingly awesome and write to Pam Grout. And she's a big New York Times best-selling author. And, I didn't know her, but I did something that my dad taught me many years ago. He told me, he said, you just have to look at life like you have these little pebbles and you get to make a choice every day. And you keep throwing these pebbles out into the lake, metaphorically, into the lake. And you never know when those ripples are going to come back. So whether it's something you want to do or a kindness to someone, you just keep throwing out the pebbles. Throwing out the pebbles of love or throwing out the pebbles of things you want. You never know. You just keep putting it out in the world and you never know. So that was one of those pebbles. I thought, I'm going to just write to her and say to you, I kind of want to write a song about this, and would that be okay? So I send this out. I go to her website and I do just the generic contact page. And I send this letter out to her and go, hi, my name is Karen Drucker. And I write these little positive message songs. And the amazing thing is 2 days later, I get I get an email back from her. And you can imagine this is so good for my ego. She says, the Karen Drucker. So I freak out. Like, what do you mean she knows? She knows who I am. Turns out that she goes to a Unity church in Kansas, little church in Lawrence, Kansas, and they sing my songs there all the time. And years ago, the minister had come to Pam saying, well, you're a writer. Can you take this book by Karen Drucker and make it into a 6-week class? So she made up this whole 6-week class, and somehow somebody sent it to me. I never knew who did it, where it came from, but so many years later, here I am saying to Pam Grout, hi there, can I write your song? So not only do we have this immediate connection, and it's just very fun, but she says to me, my bucket list dream is to write a song. So through the magic of Zoom, we became good friends and wrote that song. But I just thought, here's an example of something amazingly awesome that I would have never thought about, that by just being present to what it is that I wanted in that moment, like I really want to write a song about this. What are the steps I need to do to make this happen? But I want to analyze this song, some of the words to this song a little bit, because it goes by pretty fast. I'm not sure if you got it all. I start my day in this way, knowing everything is okay. So that's, I'm sure you've heard me, and if any of you have heard any of my talks before, I always talk about how we start our day. That's like kind of one of my main things, is how we start our day. All of my albums, all my CDs start with the very first song being a positive message song, something, thank you for this day, or I start my day with love, or I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. All of these songs are things that if you started your day in this way, your day would be good. So I start my day in this way, knowing everything is okay. I look for the good in everything. So my question to you is, when you started your day this morning, what did you say to yourself? What did you say to yourself? Did you wake up and did you look in the mirror and go, oh my God, I'm getting more beautiful every moment? Did you say, oh my God, this day, how am I going to make it through this day? What was your feeling when you started your day today? So that's what we're going to talk about, is that feeling of what it's like to just start your day in this way of saying something amazing is going to happen. I don't know what it is, but something amazing is going to happen. So, and I love the line, it's not out in the future. It's right before my eyes. The beauty, joy, and wonder. It's time I realize that every moment, every single moment is a gift. And all it takes is the slightest shift to see the good in everything. And that's what it's about. It's that shift. Sometimes we are just not in that place of seeing the good, of being grateful. I mean, let's face it, right now, with what's happening in the world, there's just so much going on. It's like it can be really challenging to start your day going, oh, it's a beautiful day and great things are happening, when you turn on the news and you just see all that's happening. But I truly believe, the reason why I'm even doing this talk is I truly believe that when we can be beacons of light, when we can start our day coming from that place of who I am makes a difference, and the love that I give, the pebbles of love that I throw out into that lake are going to come back to me, but they're going to ripple out in ways that I don't even know. I don't even know. So the next line of this was, what if I'm not open to it? What if I'm not really feeling it? And the backups in that song said, gratitude, gratitude. And that's sometimes what we need to just do, is when you're not feeling it, when you wake up in the morning and you're going, oy, this day, what is the one thing you could be grateful for? It could be the smallest thing. Miracles, I think sometimes we set ourselves up that miracles have to be that the angels come and go, ah, 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 and that firecrackers go off and there's, all this, the trumpets are blaring. A miracle can be just a shift in consciousness. A miracle could be catching the eye of someone and feeling like the smile you gave them made a difference. And so sometimes it can be the smallest things. I remember there was a time in my life when I was kind of going through a dark night of the soul. And I was really depressed. I just really didn't know what I was doing, where I was going. But I was living in this little cottage, and I remember that there was this wonderful bakery down the street. And there was a morning I woke up, and I was feeling depressed, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to go walk down the street and go and because this place had great coffee and great little pastries. And just knowing that I was going to have this great cup of coffee got me out of bed, and just that one little shift started to change my day. And I wound up going to this little coffee shop and sitting there, and someone just happened to start talking to me, and we got into this great conversation. And by the end of my coffee and my little pastry, I had been totally transformed just by making that connection. And isn't that what it's about these days? Isn't that what it's just all about, is connection? Connection to each other. That can be the miracle. That alone can be the miracle. So I want to tell you a story. Some people know this about me, but others have no idea. So I'm a long-distance marathon swimmer. That's what I do for fun. I swim in the San Francisco Bay and, in cold water, and that's what is my idea of fun. But some of you know this, but I was on the first American women's relay team to swim the English Channel. And I've swum from Lanai to Maui as a relay team, and another relay team in Lake Tahoe, California, and all these different long distance swims. But the club that I belong to, the Dolphin Club in San Francisco, we have these races all around the bay. And I've been a competitive swimmer since I was 6 years old. I was training for the Olympics. So it was very customary for me when I would do these races to be one of the first people in. I would usually be within the top 5. But I had one guy, this guy named George. And George would always be right next to me with every swim. And every time before we would swim, he'd come up to me and go, "Drucker, I see you. I'm going to get you on this one." And we had this whole little running thing going. So we did a swim, our whole club, probably about 50 people, under the Golden Gate Bridge. Now, y'all know the Golden Gate Bridge. It's rather majestic. But we're swimming underneath the Golden Gate Bridge. And, they say, "Ready, set, go," and everyone jumps from a boat, and you start swimming, right underneath the bridge. And once again, there's a big pack of people, but then as soon as probably 2 minutes into it, everyone sort of disappears, and I look to my right, and here's George right next to me, stroke for stroke. We're battling it out. And we're battling it out for about, 10 minutes or so. And then all of a sudden, I turn, I'm breathing, and I look, and he's no longer there. And I'm looking around, and not seeing him anywhere. But then I look again, and he's about 5 yards back, and he's doing water ballet underneath the Golden Gate Bridge. And I swim over to him, and I go, "George, what are you doing? We're doing a race here. We're in the top 5 here. What are you doing?" And he turns to me and he says, "Karen, when are we ever going to be underneath the Golden Gate Bridge looking up at this majestic, beautiful structure? Why would we put our heads down in the water and not see any of it?" And I remember him saying that and going, "But George, and then I just went, "You're right." And I started doing water ballet with him. And pretty soon, some of the people that were behind us caught up, and they were going, "What are you guys doing?" And we're going, "We're having fun. We're doing water ballet. Why don't you join us?" And they're like, "No, we can finally beat you. We're going." But that was a life-changing moment for me, because I realized every moment is a gift. All it takes is the slightest shift to see the good, to see the beauty, to see the awe in everything. And I never, ever swam a race again with my head down, just trying to get to the other side. And I've done that now ever since that day with everything in my life. I try and really be present enough to see what's going on. I have a songwriting friend who wrote a song that one of the lyrics was, "If you're not in awe, you're not paying attention." If you're not in awe, you're not paying attention. I mean, every moment is awe-inspiring. The beauty that we live in, just even seeing the face of God in people is what it's all about. And one more little story. I was years ago, I was traveling, and I remember I was late for the airport, and I was really stressed out, and I was really trying to get to the airport on time. And I get there, and as soon as I check in, they say, "Oh, your plane is delayed 3 hours." Now, this is in the Huntsville airport in Alabama. And I remember being so pissy and just in the worst mood. I've got this long flight home, and now I've got a 3-hour delay. And what are you going to do? But as my song said that we started off with, I start my day with what? What am I going to start my day with? Every moment is a choice that I get to choose how I'm going to be. So I went through, now I'm not talking about doing a spiritual bypass where you look at this and go, "Oh, I'm delayed for 3 hours. It's all good." I want to slap people who can do that. I don't do a spiritual bypass. I felt the feelings. I was, upset about it. But finally I got to a point where I was so upset, and I went to the gate, and I'm sitting there at the gate going, "Oh my God, I've got 3 hours to wait." And I was tired, and I was hungry, and I just was in a bad mood. And in that moment I said, "Okay, Drucker, You have a choice here. You could either be miserable or, And in that moment, I chose to pray. And I closed my eyes and I said, dear God, please help me to just have patience in this time, to have the energy to get home, to make a new choice of seeing this in a different light, to have some kind of a miracle come to me. And I literally said, miracle, find me now. Miracles, find me now. And I prayed and I let it go. And I opened my eyes, and it was almost as if there was a spotlight from God beaming down. I was at gate 3. This is at gate 1. There is a white grand piano sitting at gate 1 in the Huntsville airport. This is a true story. And I remember going, almost doing one of those cartoon, like, what? And I look, and here's this white grand piano sitting there, and the sun was beaming down on it, and I'm looking around going, how could there be a piano in this airport? It's a small little airport. So I think, well, okay, maybe this was a gift from God. So I go over, I have all these half-written songs that are with me. I'm thinking, all right, this is what I'm going to do for 3 hours. So I open the lid, and it was open. It wasn't locked. I start to play, and I'm thinking any moment I'm going to get caught, and someone's going to say you can't do it. But I'm playing along for a while, and then all of a sudden I see this big, burly security guard coming my way, and I'm going, okay, I'm busted. That was fun while it lasted. But he comes up and says, oh, that was so beautiful. Can you keep playing? And I went, oh, sure. And he goes, I have always wanted to play piano, and actually my dream is to write a song. I've signed up for a class at college, coming up in the fall about, trying to learn how to read music, but it's like my bucket list dream. And I went, well, honey, sit on down because I got time. And I gave him a piano lesson, and we wrote a song, and people started to gather around. We were having so much fun that those 3 hours went by like that. And that's what happens when you're in that flow, when you're in that presence, when you're in that miracle zone, that all of a sudden there is no time. Have you ever experienced that? When you're doing something you really love and there's just like no time. And I remember that day that it just felt like as soon as I went into service and into teaching him, it was just like, it was a miracle to me. I had so much fun, and we walked away. We gave a big hug to each other at the end. I mean, it was this beautiful, beautiful time. But I just have to remember, like that song says also, what if I'm not feeling it? What if I'm not open to it? Gratitude. Go back to that place of gratitude. What is one thing you could be open to? What is one thing, one possibility that you could be open to that could lead to a miracle? Because you have no idea what that miracle could be. And again, as I said before, the miracle could just be a shift in consciousness. I've been starting to do a prayer recently just saying, dear God, help me change my mood. Help me change my mood. If I'm in a bad mood, just help me, just let go and be open to the possibility that there could be something else out there that I'm not even aware of. So I want to give you a song here at the end here for to bring this all together. So this one, I want you to sing this with me, because this is kind of the main thing. If we can be open, just open our hearts to the possibility of something else happening. I am open to the possibilities. Interestingly enough, when I wrote this song with Claudia Carawan, actually, we wrote, I am open to the possibility. But every time I sing it, I would hear tss at the end, meaning that people were singing, I'm open to the possibilities. There's more than one possibility. There's possibilities. I am open to the possibilities. I am open to the possibilities of a life that is meant to be lived by me, to be lived by me. Can you sing that with me? And I am open to the possibilities possibilities of a life that is meant to be lived by me. Let me sing this to you. And I don't have all the answers now, but I'm willing to take it slow. And I believe that something is calling me, and where that path will lead, I don't know. But you know what? I am open. You might even want to do this with your heart, to the possibilities. I am open to the possibilities of a life that is meant to be lived by me. So step out in faith and just be open to what miracles could be there for you today. The miracle of calling an old friend and having them be thrilled that they heard from you. Whatever it is. But here's a great little thing I've just found. Buy that plane ticket. Quit the job. Accept the date. Start the company. Write the book. Sign up for the class. Make the call. Plan the trip. Wander into the unknown. Open your heart and take the leap. Because miracles are there. Miracles are there. Because something amazingly awesome just might happen to you and to me today. Keep your heart open. And your homework this week from me is I want you to look in the mirror every day this week, just for a week, and say something amazingly awesome is going to happen to me today. And then the other part of the homework is look for 3 things. Just 3 things, and report to somebody. Say, this amazing thing happened to me today. So just look, be aware of what's out there that could be an amazing miracle for you. Amazing, amazing. It's all amazing. Thanks for listening.
Wasn't Karen's talk inspiring? And I bet after 2 years, it's good to see another face up there providing a message, right? Before we pray, here's the affirmation for the week. How is it that I so easily and willingly make the choice today to start each day with love, open to possibilities, knowing that something amazingly awesome is happening to me each day? And I want to invite you to accept Karen's challenge for the week. Let's see how many amazingly awesome, wonderful things happen to us this week. Let's pray. So we just take a deep, nourishing breath and we take in that wonderful message that Karen had for us. To start our days with love, to be open to possibilities, and to know that something amazingly awesome is going to happen to us each day. What I know is that we are all connected with that one life that is God's life, that is our life right here and right now. With all of that love and wisdom and healing and feeling and freedom and safety. All of that lives right within who we are as individual expressions of the divine. And what I know is that we are each taking this message to heart today. We are absolutely looking for ways in our life to open up to possibilities that maybe up until now we weren't even aware of. and that we are learning to start each day with love and peace and joy in our hearts and bring that into this world. And I know, absolutely know, that something amazingly awesome is happening to each of us each and every day. We just happen to be noticing it now. So I am so grateful. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to have had a chance to just listen to all of the words of wisdom from Karen. I'm grateful for this community and all of the love and joy that it brings into this world. And I'm grateful to remember that the God without is the God within me. The God without is the God within each of us watching this video and each of us on this planet. And it's from all that gratitude that I release my word into the law of mind, spirit, of action, knowing that God has already called it good, that the only answer ever is yes. So I can just let it be, say amen, and we can affirm it together. And so it is. And I just want to say thank you one more time for everyone that is supporting us, keeping us so that we can continue to come into your homes. We are still looking for the perfect place for us to reopen, which probably won't be until September. But by then we should have the perfect place and people will have been home from their vacations and will be able to start anew. Thanks again for all of your support. Enjoy our offertory song.